It's a classic film that inspired generations of others, from Pretty Woman to Trading Places. Here to talk about the stage musical are the two stars of My Fair Lady, actor Gary Lee Weber, who plays the pompous phonetics professor Henry Higgins. Good morning,
Good
Gary.
morning.
We're also joined by Sophia Smith, who plays the Cockney flower girl Eliza Doolittle. Good morning,
Good
Sophia.
morning.
So, I'm curious what it's like to perform in such a classic. I mean, this is, My Fair Lady, but based on Pygmalion. It's been, stage, screen, back on stage.
Mm.
Um, were you fans of any of those iterations coming into this performance, or familiar with them, or was this kind of your first exposure?
Well, I have loved musical theater my whole life, but this show in particular for a very long time. My girls grew up listening to the CD every night, listening to Julie Andrews sing it every night when they were going to bed. And we watched the movie regularly. And so had the chance to direct it about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So the chance to play the role is just a real dream.
Yeah. How about you, Sophia?
No, totally. I had actually watched the movie when I got my phone call about being cast and everything, and I had watched it prior, and it was a long show, it was a long movie, but I loved every minute of it, and it was just it's wonderful to see Audrey take something on like that, and I had listened to Julie do the cast album and everything, so having those two ladies to watch and to look up to have been really amazing. So I definitely have been a fan of those two for a while.
Yeah, and not too shabby. You've got Julie Andrews.
Oh yeah.
You've got, uh, um, what does that is that difficult to kind of take on a role that's so iconic, has had,
Yeah.
such famous people portray this character?
It's a little intimidating when you have 2 iconic ladies like that, doing it before you, but it definitely I feel like it gives me a good starting point. Also to look at different interpretations that the 2 of them have had, because I think Julie and Audrey both have a little bit of different interpretations. Julie's a bit sassier than I would say Audrey is, so,
Uh-huh.
it's been cool being able to draw from the 2 of them, but also start to put a little bit of myself in there, just like I'm sure the 2 of them did for both the stage and the screen adaptation.
And I
Right.
can just tell you that Sophia does a great job playing the role
Oh.
all on her own, and
Yeah.
she does a beautiful job portraying such a classic role.
I mean, so it's classic. I will have to say there's certain parts of it that are problematic.
Yeah.
Certainly, like in the modern era, right? We're kind of looking at this somewhat misogynistic professor. He's got like some feelings about women in general. There's certain characteristics of class that are maybe, considered a little outdated. So
Right.
does the staging address that at all? Or do you feel as a performer that you've got to address it at all? Or is it just okay to take the classic script and go with it?
Well, that's been a challenge because, of course, I'm the one delivering most of
Yeah.
those misogynistic lines, and I often feel bad as I'm looking at Sophia saying some of this, but I think the way Rex Harrison played the role, another iconic actor,
Mhm.
and the way people have come to understand it, what you realize is at the end of the show, it is Eliza who is changing Higgins, not the
Mhm.
other way around. Everything about Eliza's transformation is somewhat superficial, but really what's going on with Higgins is an internal change. And so I think that softens it when you realize that there's a heart change going on, and trying to play the role in such a way that people feel uh, that they like this guy, even though they don't like what he's doing or how he's treating her. That's a real challenge. But Rex Harrison did it so well, and I think people understand what the show is about,
Right.
and they understand that this is the flaw in the character,
Mhm.
but you see him transformed over the course of his relationship with Eliza.
And so even when this, was staged or in the film version, there was an understanding that there was something that needed fixing
Right.
about Henry
That's right.
Higgins, right?
Right,
It was not
definitely.
like, okay, there
Oh,
was
it's
Yeah.
fairly obvious from the beginning
Oh,
something's wrong with
yes.
the
Oh,
guy.
yes. And I think too, Todd, our director, has given me plenty of room to definitely stand up to Higgins,
Yes.
which is great. So we do have the bit of the problematic themes in there, but there's plenty of room for the women, especially with the misogyny, to address it. And also the class distinctions too. I think everybody in the cast does a really great job of approaching it from a, hey, this is a problem, and we're calling it out, and we're not letting it slide. We're definitely standing up to it, which is great.
Well, and I think that's what the art and theater do well, is they sort of highlight some of the underlying problems that are pretty subtle,
Hmm.
but when you highlight it like this on the stage, you see it and you're like, "Ooh, I don't wanna see that in myself or in other people." So,
Mhm.
I do think at the end of the day, it's actually helpful to bring these subjects to the light.
Do you have a favorite song, a favorite part of the performance, that just kind of continues to sustain you and bring you joy when you're performing?
I think I think most everybody would probably expect me to say I coulda danced all night, but I have a lot of fun with the 2. There's one that I sing when I'm still Cockney, called "Just You Wait," which is very fun. That definitely has Eliza getting quite mad at Higgins and is really taking center stage and saying, "No, I'm not I don't wanna put up with this. I want like, if you're gonna treat me poorly, then I'm gonna do the exact same thing to you." But then my other favorite one is "Without You," and that's right at the end of the show. And it definitely is a huge, like, independent moment for Eliza. I mean, it is the song's title, like, she's basically telling him, "I can do everything that you think that I can't without you, and don't you think for a second that I can't," which is wonderful.
Yeah,
How
I
about
think for me, I've grown accustomed to her face, which is the last song in the show, and it really shows his transformation, I think, as he's really fighting within himself, what he sees in Eliza and how he's come to love her.
Mhm.
well, the show opens May 15th. It runs through June 22nd. Tickets are available at alhambrajax.com. It's so nice to meet you, Gary Lee Weber, Sophia Smith. Congrats and break a
Mm.
leg.
Thanks
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.